Blessings, shalom, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. All right, so I'm throwing all of the season greetings together into one. This is Apostle Bernard Bolton of the Watchman on Walls International Fellowship. We are an apostolic prophetic ministry based in Fort Mill, South Carolina, and I'm really excited to be coming on. First, I want to thank everyone who has made this such an incredible channel. I want to thank you for subscribing to the channel. I want to thank you for liking the videos. Even the few people who dislike the videos, which I don't really pay attention to that, but at least you're paying attention. My prayer for you is that that the Lord is going to change your mind, okay? And so I want to even thank you for visiting, even if you don't like the material or the content that we're releasing on here. I want to thank you for sharing these videos and just for being a part of this YouTube community and wherever else these videos appear. All right. Second thing I want to do is I want to encourage you to join our mailing list. Our website is creativeawakening.us. When you join the mailing list, I've got a free ebook for you, which is our prophetic forecast for the year 2019. Okay, we just finished it this month. I want to thank everyone who prayed for us to help us to get that completed and get it published and released. So when you join our mailing list at creativeawakening.us, I will send you. I try to do it within 24 hours after you sign up, but I'm going to send you your copy of that ebook, The Prophetic Forecast for 2019. Okay, well, today is we've got 4 days left in the year. I'm trying to pull up my calendar because today is the 28th, December the 28th. So what I'm going to be doing over the next 4 days, 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st, is I'm going to be doing a review of the 8 prophetic words that I gave in January, which was at the beginning of 2018. So we're gonna review the words, at least two words, maybe 3 words in each video, and we'll be releasing these videos over the last 4 days of the year. I want to encourage you to revisit those 8 videos, those 8 prophetic words, and they're timely. They're about maybe 10 to 13 minutes in length, so that'll be about more than an hour of watching. But I want to still encourage you to visit those prophetic words just to see which words the Lord may have manifested, which words are manifested in your life, which words that the Lord dealt with you with according to those words. Okay, so this is what we're doing for the last 4 days of the year, and then on January 1 we'll be doing the prophetic word for 2019 out of the forecast. I'll be prophesying out of that forecast on January 1, 2019. Okay, so what we did, what we're going to do now is we're going to jump right into these prophetic words, and they're not going to be lengthy. I'm going to try to keep the video at about 10 minutes so that you're not belabored. But this is the review. I think it's important because I'm a watchman. One of my functions as a watchman is to review and observe the words, the prophetic words that God has given, whether that's a word of knowledge or word of wisdom, or if it is in fact the word of the Lord, the prophecy, which is the word of the Lord. Okay, so in the very first video, which was an introduction, but we're gonna actually call that video number 1. We talked about removing the 3 yokes, okay? And the prophetic word was the Lord was going to give us his yoke this year. And when the Lord gives us his yoke, out of Matthew 11, Jesus said, "Come unto me, all you who are labored and heavy laden, and I will give you my yoke, for my yoke is easy." So this was a year where the Lord was going to give us his yoke. And that what that means is that he was going to bring us in alignment and in connection with him, to the point where we would begin to receive all of his grace, favor, resources. We would stay in sync with him. We would stay, in alignment with him. I know for myself, I did receive his yoke, and I was able to really flow with the Lord this year. This was a year where I really flowed with the Lord as I took on his yoke. Okay, now one of the challenges, however, that I talked about in that first video was, in order to receive his yoke, we had to remove other yokes. Okay, because a yoke is anything that you're connected with, anything that you are aligned with or attached with. Many of you are yoked to people, you are yoked to institutions, you're yoked to situations that's not easy. They become burdens, okay? And so we talked about the 3 yokes in video 1, the yoke of frustration, which comes about from disappointment. Maybe you received a word from the Lord that hadn't come to pass. Maybe you had some disappointments in your life, some things that you were believing for didn't happen, and the Lord was telling us to remove that yoke. That was actually from 2017, okay? The second yoke was the yoke of poverty, okay? The yoke of poverty is actually negative energy. It is a mindset that creates a belief that says that God does not have enough. Okay, God is not enough. God is not my supply. That's really, poverty is not just about not having money, not having a job. But many times the reason why we have this yoke of poverty is because we have a mindset that's creating a reality, a negative reality, negative energy. If you got a lot of negative people in your life, that's poverty. Okay, if you live in a negative place, if you work in a negative place, that creates poverty. And so that was another yoke that the Lord wanted us to pull off so that we could receive his yoke. The third yoke was the yoke of religion. Religion is basically a system that is born out of performance, born out of tradition, and religion works against the revelation of God and even having a real relationship with God, okay? And so many of us had to pull off the yoke of religion, or the yoke of poverty, or the yoke of frustration, all right? But then once we got out of those yokes, then we could receive the yoke of the Lord and begin to flow with him. So in 2018, okay, as you're reviewing this word, can you say that you was yoked with the Lord this year, that you was in sync with the Lord, you were in alignment with the Lord? Every time he was moving, you were receiving everything that the Lord wanted you to have. Okay. Then in the first word, I talked about how God was going to visit his people this year. God was going to visit his people this year. And unfortunately, I don't have my Bible. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. I'm going to try to, because I do have it here on my phone. But the visitation of the Lord basically means when the Lord visits us, the Lord comes and speaks to us, right? All right. The visitation actually comes in 3 ways. The Lord comes and he visits us, okay? And then the Lord comes to end a season. All right. When the Lord visits you, he comes to end a season. That means that a season is over in your life, and it's time now for you to move on. Yeah, I just found my Bible, so I'm trying to pull up this this verse that I'm going to read for us. And then a visitation from the Lord is an open door. Okay, because when the Lord ends a season, the Lord is also opening a door for you to move forward. All right. So in the midst of, if you had a visitation from the Lord, those are the three things that was taking place in your life. Okay. It's taking me a minute to get this up, but I'm getting there. All right. Now, what I want to talk about is, so here in Psalms 106, verse 4, okay, it says, "Remember me, O Lord, with the favor you have toward your people. Oh, visit me with your salvation." Okay. Now, when the Lord visits us, and the writer here, who I'm not sure who wrote it, okay, but the psalmist says, "Visit me with your salvation." Okay, so when the Lord visits, the salvation of the Lord, and of course we know that salvation means to be, it means to be brought out, to be delivered, to be rescued. It also means to prosper. It means to be prospered or to be successful. And of course, salvation is, of course, the acceptance of Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. So many times, many who had a visitation this year, the Lord visited you and you accepted him as your Lord and Savior. And if you did, please write me. Please respond. Please, connect with me so I can send you some material. I'm actually, for those that got saved this year, I'm going to send you 2 ebooks. I'm going to send you the Prophetic Forecast, and I'm going to send you the the other ebook that we were releasing this year on how to get a breakthrough. Okay, but but salvation is of course the receiving Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Now, once we get saved by Jesus Christ, once we believe on him and confess him, and we begin to live with him because he lives in us. All right. Then he begins to save us in the midst of our life. Okay. So then salvation, when the Lord comes to visit us, all right, when the Lord saves us in the midst of a visitation, it means that he's ending something. That's why I said that visitation is coming to the end of a season, because what the Lord does when he comes in to visit us is he ends a season. Okay. In 2017, the Lord ended probably one of the worst seasons of my life. 2017 was one of the worst seasons of my life. And I got to wrap this up. So I did want to talk about I did have a visitation. I actually had 2 visitations from the Lord, but I wanted to tell you about one visitation I had where the Lord visited me through a word of wisdom from my Apostle Teresa Johnson. And I went to the doctor. She had prophesied to me at least 3 times, but the 3rd time I heard God, and I went to the doctor and discovered that I had a life-threatening illness. That if I had not gone to the doctor, at that time, that I probably would have died. It's a great possibility that I would have died, or something very terrible would have happened to my health. So God visited me through that word and saved my life. Okay. And so that's all that I can say. I've got to end this recording. I've got 3 more to do. So God bless you, and Happy New Year.